Jamieshow is one of my all-time favorite doll companies. They combine so many of the things that I just love in dolls. The 16-inch size, I know they do 12-inch as well, but they're one of the few makers who are still regularly producing 16-inch doll size. They are resin fashion dolls. They have a beautiful figure and they have really exotic and often historic outfits as well, which really delights me. So I was beyond excited when they announced this previous release of the 16-inch dolls with a new body style. They are called the Retro Glam edition. And these ones particularly excited me because they use a newer variation of the Jean Marshall body. So it's not only a really beautiful, slightly shorter, which I actually love because it gives a little bit more realism to the figure and the height of the doll, but also just really versatile in finding amazing fashions and really exotic wear for them. So I really can't wait to get this open. I have ordered Liz along with an outfit and shoes. She was the one who grabbed my heart. First, I did like a couple of them, but Liz seemed to combine, sort of put together the wonderful things about both of the other dolls from this line. Beauty, but also a little bit of that bitey, her own personality. So I just loved her face and I can't wait to get her open and find out just how good she is, but also how she compares with the other Jamieshow, the older Jamieshow dolls. Now, Jamieshow have been one of my favourites, if not my very favourite resin fashion doll for quite a long time. And one of the reasons is because I have found them to be one of the more affordable dolls. I do think that recently that has become less the case as we have had to buy all of the different items individually. So here's Liz in her box, outfit separate, wig separate. She's nothing but the nude bald doll available in the the original form, so you did have to buy everything else. And I guess in some ways that's good because actually I do find quite often that the basic fashions and wigs that they come with are not necessarily what I would have chosen, and so well, I guess you're kind of paying for something that you didn't want. So yeah, I do think that we're spending a little bit more. I love taking a Jamieshow doll out of the box. They just slip out so easily and you can see that beautiful form. I was really excited to see the Jean Marshall body back. And yeah, I'm looking at her now, straight out of the box, just fabulous. Her head is not quite attached. I will get that on. They're pretty easy to get back on and I will show you how. But first of all, we've got a few other items as well. Got her wig here. As I said, did not come with a wig. She just comes with the bald cap. If you don't have any resin fashion dolls, one of the things about them is that they can wear a whole variety of wigs. Hard cap wigs that you can get from Etsy sellers, I think are really fabulous. They can be a lot more, I guess, detailed in their style than the Jamieshow ones. I do really like the Jamieshow cap. It's a great concept and they're quite reasonably priced for a wig to fit this kind of doll. So I'm just going to put this one on. I'm going to remove the back of Liz's head and this is going to replace it. So it's quite a cool idea. Also got the fashion here, and I said that the price has gone up since you buy all this stuff separately. One of the reasons is that the fashions are pretty detailed from Jamieshow. So this one has a dress, a coat, a bag, and some cool accessories, hat, jewelry, glasses. So that stuff is really nice. And I kind of ummed and ahed about buying an outfit this time because she's meant to fit Jean Marshall clothes. So I do have quite a few of them. And I guess this era isn't my absolute favorite, but I looked at this one and I thought in the end it was worth the cost because it is so detailed. We'll see when we get it on her. Now to get a resin doll's head on, we do need to take off the back of the head. We're going to need to do that to get her wig on anyway, so it just slips off. It is magnetic. I can just slip the ribbon into the hole so the hook comes in, pull that ribbon and turn so that the O-ring hooks into the neck. So if you ever have to do that, it's really straightforward. And then we can also put the ribbon into the hole in the plate of her head and slip the wig on. So that's pretty cute. One thing I did say before, that Jamieshow wigs are not super detailed generally, and you can see that here. It's nice, it fits her perfectly, but you know, I might have something that is nicer for her elsewhere. You can see that silhouette is one of the things I love about the jean body. It's quite unique in this hourglass silhouette that it has. Not necessarily realistic, but I guess, you know, often fashion dolls aren't necessarily realistic, are they? They're a stylized realism, and it's about whether that is, you know, beautiful or not. I find that, you know, I like that she's a little bit thicker all over than some of the dolls. So for example, you know, Kingdom Doll and Ficon, I find they're just so skinny, whereas the jean body, as represented here by Liz Jamieshow, I find to be just a bit more you know, a really good mix of realism and stylization and beauty. Jamieshow bodies also have double jointing in the elbows. They are hidden joints, which I find is one of the things I really love about Jamieshow, that when you lay the arm to the side, the joint is almost hidden, almost invisible, but it has a really good level of movement, as good as any doll, with still a very beautiful hidden joint. The knee is only single jointed, and yeah, you might, you know, some people will have complaints about that, but I don't pose the legs as much. But I also really like the way the joint works, that again, when you turn it, it locks into place and the joint is nearly hidden. So I find the Jamieshow joints to be really clever, really beautifully clever. And as you can see, that's a very realistic pose she's taking on. Without the double jointing in the knee, she may not be able to do as well some really extreme poses. So yeah, if she wanted to sort of kneel down onto her front legs, she would have to have her knee really open like this, which a doll with a double joint there wouldn't need to do. But for all standard poses, you know, it just gives that extra beauty to the pose, and I really like it. She's very solid in her posing too. She really holds those poses well, and I find that some resin fashion dolls are actually quite challenging to pose. You know, you really feel the fact that they're resin, whereas a Jamieshow doll, the first time I picked one up, I actually, you know, couldn't believe that she was strung jointing. The stiffness, the tightness of the joints, it really felt like a hinge joint, except that it had that extra range of motion. And I think they give a really good range of motion without necessarily bend her legs, you know, an extreme amount. But that's actually, I think, the only thing that we can't really do. I think she does everything else really, really nicely, smoothly, and yeah, holds those poses really well. Okay, so going on to the outfit now, let's get Liz dressed. So I've got, they come out really nice. I've got the dress. It looks kind of like a two-piece, but the skirt and top are attached. I knew that when I bought it. You could, I guess someone might complain that it should be a two-piece. It doesn't bother me. Very pretty. I like the bow feature on the neck. I like when there's zip as well at the back, because that makes it so easy to get on and to do up without risking, you know, catching in hair or catching on other clothing. Ooh, and there she is. Really, really nicely tailored dress. I think that is fabulous. I love the darting. Jamieshow dolls all come with a stand. It's very nicely made with this clear resin base piece and a telescoping stand. When you wiggle this, you allow it to telescope. Not sure that quite works because you can't lock it into place once she's on the stand because of her clothing, but that's okay. Not just missing her purse now. Her glasses, when I held them, they felt just minuscule, and I was surprised to think, well, I thought they wouldn't fit her, but they do. They're actually perfect. They do hide her eye. The hat is adorable, and it really harks back to Jean and her styles, because Jean almost always came with a really cute hat and hat pins. I did find the pins nearly impossible to get on her wig, but you know, it is still nice. The earrings look fine. I did notice as I was opening her up that the doll herself came with a set of earrings that are exactly the same. It is maybe a pity that the expensive fashion set didn't come with something different. I already talked about the underdress. The only thing I didn't mention was that I do love the bow. It's really adorable, and I love how it peeks out from underneath the coat. The buttons are also really cute on there, you know, very much in scale. The coat is just beautifully styled. It really has a lovely silhouette. I did struggle to get the top hook done up as I was doing it. It's just quite tight. It is, you know, appropriate and gives her that beautiful fit. It hides the skirt, which I don't know if that's a pity or not, because both the coat and the dress are really nice, but it does. You can't see that at all. You might have noticed me putting the glove hands on as I dressed her. I love those glove hands. I focused on them in the dressing, but they are some of the most beautifully sculpted glove hands that I have ever seen. They have the seam lines in them. The color's really appropriate. I just love them. If you are changing hands or dressing in tight clothes like these sleeves are, you really don't want to miss a step. These dressing balls are included with most resin fashion dolls, not just Jamieshow, to allow you to do exactly that, to put tight sleeves on, because if you lose the elastic into her arm, then her arms may fall off and you'll have to start again, and you need more specialized tools if you're going to restring her arms. The bag is fine. I do know I have recently purchased as little, I think they're like AirPod holders that look nearly exactly the same as this, that you can get from AliExpress or eBay for like $5. So although this is, you know, cute and works with the outfit, I don't feel like it adds much value. The shoes look adorable, and they're another thing that I looked at as I was going through them, and I thought, they look so tiny. They've got to be smaller than regular Jamieshow feet, and wow, they were hard to get on. Oh my god, they were just such a tight squeeze. I nearly crushed the back. I tried them on both feet. I couldn't quite tell which one was meant for which foot. When I did get them on the right feet, I got them on, but they are like a ridiculously close fit, which is why I'm not sure I could have put her pantyhose on her or not. If we go back to Liz herself, take her glasses off so we can see her face. The reason I liked Liz is because she has, I don't know, she's not only got style, but she looks like she has a bit of fire in her, you know. She's a bit cheeky. The face isn't just beautiful, whereas I think some of the other dolls from this collection had, you know, were just a little bit too sweet and innocent. Liz you know, she is spunky. She's got a bit of spark there. Her lips have all sorts of detail. They're very dark red, which I don't know if I love how dark they are, but I do love that they have these extra details on them, really well painted. The eyes, Jamieshow eyes, are painted. They are not glass, but they have a lot of detail. You can see her face. It is, I think it's a really beautiful but also unique style, and it's one of the things I love about Jamieshow dolls, that they're not always necessarily classically beautiful. There are some who actually have a reputation of being a bit ugly. And I mean, I don't necessarily agree, but what that means is that, you know, they're trying all different styles. And I really, really appreciate that about them. And it means I think that there is a face out there for everyone. So here's Liz alongside an earlier Jamieshow, that's Ginny, and on this side a Jean Marshall from Integrity Toys. And you can see the similarities and differences between all of them here. The aesthetic of the faces of the two Jamieshow dolls is clearly very similar, as well as the height here of Liz and Jean. Ginny is slightly taller, but it isn't significant. And again, I think her body shape will be slightly different, and I might have a look at them undressed in a sec, but it isn't super different. The aesthetic between Jean and Liz is really significantly, really markedly different. You can see that Jean's head is much larger, has a bit of a cartoony style, whereas Liz is a much more realistic face with a lot more subtle details. With the three dolls' clothing removed, you can see how Liz is more or less a combination of the other two. She's got the jointing style and the overall, joint aesthetic of the Jamieshow original body, but she has the shape of the Jean figure here. So the same waist, similar hip size, and so on. There are also a lot of similarities with that Jamieshow body. Do please note that this is not a comprehensive comparison. There have been other Jamieshow bodies as well. So the previous body to this one was the Glam body. This one is called Retro Glam. The previous one was Glam, and it was a slimmer body again, so a little bit more comparable to, you know, the Ficon and the Kingdom doll style. But I just chose Ginny as a comparison because I felt she is quite close to Liz. I did, as I was undressing her, I found she was a lot kickier. So maybe because the elastic is older, possibly. But either way, she is a little bit harder to pose. Liz is really fabulous to pose. And you can see that Ginny is a tiny bit taller. So when I hold her up off the stand a little bit closer, you can see the height difference a little bit better. Whereas Jean, she is wearing some Jamieshow shoes as well. They're a tad taller, but even so, you can see that she is really that exact height. One thing they have added in with this body, the Jamieshow Jean body, I don't have one at the moment, but I have had a previous Jamieshow Jean. She didn't have ankle joints, so I know that there have been a few changes. So again, yeah, this is like a combo body, putting the best parts of Jean into those things that I love so much about Jamieshow as a resin doll. And I'm just going to show how the wig can swap. I'm just going to give Liz the wig that Ginny was wearing. Even though I think the new wig is nicer on Liz than the blonde wig, Ginny has decided to keep it for a while because I think it is amazing on her. I've just dressed her in an original Jean Marshall outfit called Pink Passion. It is missing the sleeves, but you can see the silhouette and how great it fits on the Retro Glam body. And one thing about her I said at the start is that the clothing that Jamieshow offered was really expensive, and that was one of the sort of off-putting things about this. Yeah, but the fantastic thing is that Jean Marshall clothing is really, really reasonably priced. It's some of the cheapest 16-inch fashion doll clothing out there that you can get, even though they are really like over the top and spectacular, especially some of the later ones. So you can go and, you could get this doll nude, you could get her without a wig and just buy a cheap soft cap wig if you wanted, and then you could buy her a really spectacular outfit for, $25 or $30 on eBay. It would have shoes, it would have all of that. So really, I think, I guess in coming to a conclusion about this doll, although the price point is high, and I think that in the recent years, it has become a comparable price point with most other resin fashion dolls. So, you know, along the lines of your Ficon, your Numina, and so on. She's pretty comparable with all of them. But you do have the option of buying her nude and bald, unlike with most of those dolls, in which case, you know, I'm not going to say she's cheap, but she is affordable when it comes to dolls if you don't get the add-ons, and then you can buy pretty cheap ones elsewhere. And to be honest, that's, I guess, yeah, that's probably my only complaint with her, is that I think that the price point has become higher than I really feel comfortable with Jamieshow. The cost is a little bit prohibitive. The knee joints are not maybe perfect yet. Her body is just so beautiful and so refined. And yeah, if you, I guess the other thing some people might complain about Jamieshow as opposed to some of the others is that they're a bit more commercial. But one thing about being commercial is that there is just so much experience in this company. So I really could not recommend this doll more highly. I absolutely love the detail in her face. It is just gorgeous. I think they are absolutely immaculately finished. The body is, you know, it's just so beautiful to touch, to play with, and to pose. And this doll, even more so than the other Jamieshow dolls, just has the versatility of so many costumes that she can wear. I would say personally that the glam line, so the previous one to this, is probably the hardest one to fit. But this one and the older one, really, really great. And, you know, just the quality of the workmanship is so fantastic. The clothing I wouldn't rate as highly as the doll. So that's probably my only complaint there, is the clothing is maybe not quite as refined as the doll. Maybe I wouldn't go back and buy the outfit. I would just put her in something from Jean Marshall. Fantastic doll. If you've never seen a Jamieshow and you're interested, they are a really wonderful addition to your collection. If you have enjoyed this video and you want to see more of my doll reviews and comparisons, then please don't forget to subscribe to my channel.